Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. I was absolutely disgusted by the Married to Medicine reunion part 3. And one of the reasons why I would say I was disgusted is that everybody was able to hold Dr. G accountable, but there was no accountability for King and Quad. It's absolutely ridiculous. The double standard is painful. It's appalling. I feel like they trivialized to G's feelings about what Quad did. Anyone with eyes knows that Quad started the issue. Both know how to push each other's buttons. She knew exactly what she was doing. Let's be clear. How can you be saying, oh, you plan a baby shower when these people are struggling to get pregnant? It is tacky. It is disgusting. You know what you meant by it. And the fact that nobody is holding her accountable is so painful to see. Like the whole show, majority of the people on the cast are trying to alienate Sweet Tea and Dr. G. Now, let's be clear. You all know I'm the first person to talk smack about Dr. G, and I probably still will. In this situation, for everybody to sit there and there is no accountability for King, for Quad, that is crazy to me. It is so shocking. It's bat-ish crazy. Literally. Never seen anything quite like it. It's almost like they choose the people they like, and if they don't like you, they can never see your perspective. It's like you don't have to like somebody. I don't see it for Dr. G at all. At all. However, in this situation, I understand where he's coming from. Now, do I mean that it's okay for him to speak to Quad and tell her has a big effing mouth? No, I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think you should speak to women like that. But in the same vein, I don't think that Quad should have said the things that Quad said. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely tactless, insensitive. And the fact that no one, well, in all fairness, Cecil did say something. I will come back to that in a second. But I feel like everyone seems to have amnesia about what Quad and King did. But everyone seems to remember what Dr. G did. And this is why I say it's always, you have to be very careful how you react to anything in life. This is a lesson I learned when I was very, very young, because people will antagonize me and do crazy-ish, and the moment I respond, everybody only sees my reaction and nobody sees what was done. And so that taught me a valuable lesson where I was like, yo, nah, you need to control your reactions, because no matter what people do to you, if you react, they forget what caused the reaction and hold on to what you did. Let's talk about Kenya more. Brit, right? Brit started it all, but Kenya went all the way to hell. Now, guess what most of us remember the most is what Kenya did. But what they both did was absolutely disgusting. To Dr. G and Quad and the whole situation, I feel like people should have held them accountable. Now, I will say Cecil did that. So shout out to Cecil. I will talk about what Cecil did and the part that he played. But before we go on, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for listening up until this point. Make sure you listen to the end, because I have some nuggets that I'm going to be sharing with you throughout of what I picked up at the reunion. So here's the thing. I feel like Cecil was exposing the double standard. It is actually ridiculous to say that a woman can say anything that she wants to say, but you can't respond to her. How about you tell her not to speak to me? How about you tell her, I don't really believe in that? And I think that that is just an excuse for anybody to say anything. Now, do I agree with the way Dr. G went about it? No, he could have been civil about it. Said, please stop speaking to me. Please stop speaking on my marriage. That is it. That is all. I don't want to hear it. And he could have walked off. Could have been the end of it. Instead, what happened was Quad was trying to trigger him. She knew that he does not have a handle on his emotions. She knew exactly what buttons to push, and she pushed them all the way. almost like you know where you can stab someone to really stab them all the way, right? To completely hurt them. And that's exactly what she did. She knew exactly where it would hurt. She knew how this man has been trying to have a baby for the longest of times. We saw this man practically beg Quad for a baby, okay, on the show. So, of course, making jokes about planning a baby shower for a baby that has not yet materialized is insensitive. And the fact that people seem to be oblivious or say, oh, she was just joking, or are we serious? Are we playing games? Know that if roles were reversed, Quad would have stood up with the dramatics. Can you believe, after me not being able to have a baby yet, can you believe that he would say something like that? He would have been on one, and we would not hear the end of it. Every reunion, every episode, we hear all the things that people have done to her. It's like, woe is me. So imagine Sweet Tea or Dr. G had said something like that. That you will never hear the end of it. So I just wish that the whole cast will go back and watch how they have done the season and watch the double standard. I think sometimes when you are in it, maybe you don't see it. So I hope that everybody can sit back and rewatch it and think, nah, something ain't right. Did these people dirty? At this point, it feels like everyone is scared of Quad and King because ain't nobody saying ish. Or maybe they just hate Dr. G and Sweet Tea. But two things can be true. Dr. G can be wrong and Quad can be wrong and King can be wrong. How is it that Dr. G is the only one apologizing when Quad started the whole mess? Should have been asked to apologize. Instead, what we got was people trying to gaslight G like he had no reason to feel the way he did. But he does absolutely have a reason to feel the way that he did. And I don't see anything wrong in him expressing that and that being validated. Instead, the only person that really stuck up for him in that situation was Cecil. And I completely agree. It is not okay, no matter what, somebody to be able to be speaking on you getting a child, especially when that has been a difficult experience for you in such a way that is insensitive. And so I think there should have been some consequences. I think that should have at least been brought to Quad. Instead, ain't nobody said nothing. Everybody was just there obsessed with what Dr. G did wrong. If you guys learned something from this video, always learn this. No matter what someone does to you, make sure that your response to that, you don't take it all the way to hell. Make sure that your response, even if you're pissed, make sure your response is measured in a way where you're not crashing out, in a way where you're calling out what the issue is, you're calling out the behavior, but you're not crashing out. You're not losing your mind over it. Or at least you don't look like you're losing your mind over it. For instance, if Dr. G had just spoken very calmly and said, Quad, please, I would ask you to not address me. King, please, I don't want Quad addressing me. I don't want to have to be going back and forth with her. I don't want her to speak on my marriage or my kids. That is it. That is all. That should have been the end of it. How you handle when somebody is trying to push your buttons. Now, I know it's easier said than done because certain people try to push your buttons. But that's why I always say take a minute. Breathe. You don't have to react immediately. And if it's such a high-pressured environment, just get up and walk out. Could have just been it. And that would have been it. There is no scene because now all you're doing is talking to yourself, and that would have been the end of it. Instead, because he doesn't have a handle on his emotions, he ended up being the one at fault. And that's why I say, whoever does not have a handle on their emotions is a dangerous person and an easy target. Even if you're not causing danger in that moment, you are an easy target because everyone can throw dirt at you and it would stick because people know you for crashing out. People know that you don't have a handle on your emotions. Do you think it was interesting that everyone had something to say about the way Dr. G spoke to Sweet Tea. Now, I will say this, like I said, I agree. You guys know I talked about it. I don't appreciate him speaking to her like that. I'm not here for it at all. That goes without saying. It's like, what of your relationships? Can you genuinely say that there has never been a moment where things escalated like that? For instance, Toya and Eugene, there has been moments even on the show where Toya has been absolutely disrespectful and spoken to Eugene in a very disgusting way that shouldn't be so, right? Abusive, literally. We did not hold Toya accountable because we're always so biased when it comes to men. When men are on the receiving end of abuse, sometimes we tend to trivialize it, which should not be so. What I'm saying is Dr. G was hella wrong for speaking to Sweet Tea in that way. And then Toya was hella wrong for speaking to Eugene in that way in the past. Now, I do think he's been speaking to him a lot better nowadays. So I hope that that continues. The other person I really want to highlight in this episode for me is Eugene. What I will say is the two people who caught my attention in this reunion was Cecil and Eugene. Eugene pulled Dr. Damien to the side and was saying to him that he needs to be mindful of some of the words that he was using in the conversation with Dr. G. It's interesting because I said the exact same thing in one of my previous videos. I specifically said that the word that he was using by calling him a coward is very triggering. And that's exactly what Eugene said. 100% agree with. I'm glad somebody is finally saying it. Now, Eugene was trying to say that and then Heavenly is chiming in. You could see that Eugene did not want to get into it, but he did say there are certain words that you use with the man that can be triggering. Like, how are you going to call the man a coward multiple times? He wanted a reaction from Dr. G. Luckily, Dr. G did not go as far as he should have gone. Or at least could have gone, right? He didn't take it as far as he could have, because most men in that situation will take it all the way left. For you speaking on him like that, usually a lot of men would have just gotten up and said, let's square up then. Let's fight. Because how are you going to call me a coward multiple times on a platform where my wife is at? That is hella disrespectful. Out of order. There is no level of respect left. And if I were Dr. G, I would never be friends with somebody like Damien again. He is a dangerous person. Somebody that thinks that, okay, to consistently use a certain word that they know is triggering just because they want to get you out of line. Now, lucky Dr. G that he didn't respond in a way that was out of line. But that was exactly what he was trying to get him to do. Completely react and lose his ish. And then that way they can say, you see what we were saying? Leave the show. I feel like that is ultimately what he was hoping to be able to do. Luckily, that did not end up happening. I'm glad it didn't, because that could have just been some crazy work. Now, that is all I want to talk about. The other things, I didn't feel like they were that interesting that I really wanted to talk about. The whole Simone and Quad, I'm tired of talking about it. It is what it is. We'll see what happens next season. Did like the ending where everyone seemed to come to a bit of a calm moment with Simone doing the speeches. But all in all, I guess it was okay. I really do not think they needed this last reunion. They could have left it. But yeah, that is it from me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button. Also, let me know what you would rate this episode of the reunion. I would say I would give it a 6, maybe even a 5, because there wasn't anything that interesting that happened. And yeah, they could have just kept this one in drafts. Anyways, lovelies, thank you so much. I'll speak to you guys in the chat. Bye.